Gosh.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I want to ask
Wow.
Mr. Sizemore, what was it like working on that movie?
Um, well, it was my first lead in a sorry, Janet.
No, oh my God.
It was my first leading role in a substantial movie, and at the time, Oliver Stone. The movie business has changed so much. At that time, Oliver Stone was probably the most revered filmmaker. He, Scorsese, Spielberg,
Right.
who I actually worked with the other two too. I was fortunate, but it was Oliver who gave me my first job ever. Was Born on the 4th of July. I had a small part in that, which led to Natural Born Killers. And when I went in to meet with him for the part, it was if you have time, it was
No.
We had all the time.
I'd heard he was going to cast Michael Madsen in the part of Mickey,
Okay.
and Michael was my buddy then. We're not so close now, but we were really close back then, and I thought I was better than he was. Anyway,
That's okay.
at the time, Oliver, there was a place in Los Angeles called the Monkey Bar.
Oh yeah.
It was Jack Nicholson's. He had opened this it was the last of kind of like the Hollywood eateries that where the famous would come together almost every night, and so I knew that he went there all the time. So I went there, and I learned that I had the script, and I learned the. I didn't even know he was thinking about me for Scagnetti. I learned I didn't know this yet.
Okay.
I learned the scene between he and Robert Downey, and when he goes, shit, man, shit, it ends with, shit, man, I'm a natural born killer, you know.
Right.
A species and another species, and that long. I learned that whole thing. And I got into the club, and I saw Oliver, and I went over, and he was paying his ticket. He was getting ready to leave. I just started doing it, and he said, "Tom, stop! What are you doing?" And I said, "Oliver, you gotta let me do this. Let me do this." And I followed him outside, and I kept doing these lines at the beginning, the opening speech, and he finally stopped, and he went, "Stop it! Just stop! Come to my office tomorrow at 2:00."
Whoa.
And I was at the time I was dating. I can't say. I'm not gonna say who I was dating. She's,
Right,
she-
you don't have
she-
to, you don't have to.
She's really a famous person.
Right.
And she thought it was crazy, but it had worked. So I went there the next day at 2:00, and I at the time Risa Brayman cast his movies, and her assistant was Mary Vernew. Mary Vernew now is the biggest casting director probably in Hollywood history. And she showed me Oliver's office. He was sitting there, and he said, "Just get it out of your mind. You're not going to play Mickey. You're not playing Mickey. Mel Gibson's going to play Mickey."
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Mel Gibson?" I thought it was Michael Madsen. He said, "Michael doesn't know yet." He had offered it to Michael, but I'm replacing him because Warner Brothers has said that they'll give me an extra, I think it was $11 million if he cast Mel Gibson, Tom Cruise. It was like 5 people, and then Woody Harrelson.
Right.
That was the group.
Wow.
And he said, and you're not one of those. So I said, "You're really going to replace him with Mel Gibson?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "But what do you think about Jack Scagnetti?" And I said, "Well, I really haven't thought about it." And he said, "Well, why don't you think about it? Why don't you come back here at 5 or no 6 when I'm leaving, and we'll talk about." I said, "You want me to read?" And he said, "No, just come back at 6." So I came back at 6, and he was ready to leave, and I went to his office, and he said, "Hey, let's go. Let's take off." And we were walking to his car, and he said, "So how do you think he walks?" And I went, "Oh, come on, Oliver." Anyway, it turned into like this extended audition. I got in his car. We drove to this place to eat, the Ivy at the Shore, and he said, "Do you think he has change in his pocket and all this stuff?" And so it was just kind of strange. Oliver's he's a unique, he's an eccentric person, brilliant person, and he when it was over, he said, "It's either Jimmy Woods, Gary Oldman, or you, and I'm making a table." Is what he said to me. I'm making a 5-legged table. My movie's a 5-legged table. Now I got 4 legs. I know are going to be sturdy. Woody, Mel, he became Woody. Tommy Lee Jones, Juliette Lewis, and Robert Downey Jr. Now my 5th leg, if I cast you, are you going to wobble?
Wow.
And I went, I didn't follow him at first. I went, what now? And he went, He went, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Okay, Tom, it's a metaphor.
Like say that shit.
It's a
again.
metaphor. Okay, it's a 5-legged table. Are you gonna wobble and make my table fucked up? I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna fuck up your table. And he said, no, seriously. Do you think you? And I said, are you asking me if I think I can play Jack Scagnetti? And he said, yes, idiot. So he could be abusive. And I said, yeah.
Wow.
I said, yeah. I given enough time, yeah. I've been focusing on Mickey, but so when I got to the set, now it was 87 days later, we started the movie. And my first day of shooting was I had to kill...
The woman in the hotel.
Yeah, in the hotel. You know that. Okay, that was my first...
Oh, yeah.
I told you he's a
that was my
fanboy.
first...
I'm a fanboy.
my first day was I had to kill the hooker.
I wanted
Pinky,
to ask you about
Pinky.
that too. Like, how did you get into character to knowing that this is the scene that you at that point give into your demon to catch this other big demon?
Okay, I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I said it before. I'm gonna tell you something that's true.